Taylor here with Music Matcher, coming to you with a lesson on a couple simple tricks you can use to sound awesome on your guitar. What we're going to do is we're going to learn a really simple scale, and then we're going to combine that with a really cool trick called droning that's going to allow you to pick up your guitar and just be creative with it and have fun with it, but also sound awesome. So if you are just a beginner, don't worry, this lesson is still beginner friendly. There are lots of ways you can simplify this and make it easy and still really fun to play with. Or if you're a little further along in your guitar journey, there's lots of cool ways you can have fun with this and make it more complex as well. So it's great for any skill level. Let's go ahead and dive right in. We're going to start by learning a quick scale, and then I'm going to show you how to use that droning trick to sound really awesome. Let's do it. All right guys, so let's go ahead and start learning this cool little trick that will get you sounding awesome on your guitar right away. And basically what we're going to need to do is just learn a quick scale to start sounding cool here. So I'm going to put a scale on screen for you. This is a scale diagram. Some of you may have seen this scale before. For others, maybe it's new. Either way, that is perfectly fine. And I just want to remind you that when you're looking at these diagrams, the bottom of the diagram is the low E string, and the top of the diagram is the high E string. So for anyone who may be looking at this and it's a little bit new, it might feel like it's upside down to you. So just make sure you kind of flip that around in your head, get the right perspective on it, and don't shoot the messenger. That's just how these scales are written, and you'll get used to it. Of course, as you keep practicing. But let's go ahead and learn the notes of this scale, except that what we're going to do is we're not going to play the notes on the low E string or the A string. So we're going to cut those out of the scale, and I'll explain why in just a minute here. But basically, we're going to start on the D string with that scale. So the first note that we see on the D string, in this case, is the 5th fret. And so I'm going to have you go ahead and use your index finger there for the 5th fret of D. And then let's just play through the rest of the notes of this scale. We're just reading left to right, going string by string. So our next note is the 7th fret of D. Then we're going to jump back to the 4th fret of the G string with our index finger. We're going to grab the 5th fret of G with our 2nd finger. 7th fret of G with our pinky. As far as the fingers, if you want to do your index finger on those first 2 notes, that's fine too, and then use your ring finger for the 7th fret. So whatever feels most comfortable for you. Then we're going to the B string. We got the 5th fret of the B string with our index finger. 6th fret of B with our 2nd finger. 8th fret of B with our pinky. On the high E string, we got the 5th fret with our index finger, the 7th fret with our ring finger, and the 8th fret with our pinky. But basically, go ahead and kind of get those notes under your fingers, kind of get comfortable with that, and work through those notes. And let's go ahead and now take a look at the cool little trick that you can use to start making this sound really cool. Alright guys, so we just learned the notes of that A minor scale from the D string up to the high E string. We did not play the notes of the low E or A string, and let me show you why right now, and now we're going to kind of bring this together and start sounding cool. So the little trick that you're going to do is you're going to play the A string open with your thumb. So basically you can finger pick this. All you need to do is use your thumb for the A string, and you're just going to use your index finger to pluck the other notes of the scale. And what this is going to do is the open A string is going to ring out and kind of give you some background sound where when you play the notes of the scale over that, it's going to sound really cool together. So you can keep it really simple and just kind of pluck that A string open and kind of let it ring while you do a couple kind of riffs within that scale that we learned. If you want to get a little more complex, you can try and keep that thumb moving and kind of constantly plucking that low A string and really give yourself kind of a rhythm to work with as well. keeping that thumb going consistently like that is a little bit tough at first. So if you're just kind of starting out with some of this stuff, if you're early on in your guitar journey, don't feel the need to do that right away. Just pluck that open A string, let that ring out to kind of give you some background noise, and then pluck the notes of that scale. You can pluck those notes in any order that you want, so you can use that scale to kind of be creative and combine those notes in different ways, and start making music and having fun with it. So that is a really cool trick for you to sound awesome on your guitar. It gives you a minor sound because we're using a minor scale in this case. And we're playing in the key of A minor, so we're using the open A string to drone. That's kind of the little trick we're doing with this. We're gonna let that drone out and give us that background noise. And then we're playing a scale in that same key, in the key of A minor, the key of the open string that we're droning. Let's go ahead and take a look at how to do this in one more key real quick. All right guys, cool. So now you can see how you can take that scale and start making it sound cool when you add that droning note on the A string. And I'm just going to give you a quick little bonus round here and have you just do that in another place with another key. So we can also do that in the key of E minor. And we're going to basically use our open E string now for our droning note. And we just have to play that same scale, but in a different spot. So when we started over here, when we're playing right around the 5th and 7th fret there, we're playing in the key of A minor, and we're playing that open A droning to kind of go along with those notes. So now if we want to kind of switch to the key of E minor, we just have to put that scale in a different place, and then we're just going to drone along with our low E string. And so the way you can know where to put this is by identifying the root note. There are a few different ways to identify the root note, but for this lesson, I'm going to have you guys identify it by the high E string note. So when we played right here in this 5th position, right around the 5th and 7th fret where we learned that first scale, the high E string note here on the 5th fret was an A note. So that kind of put us in the key of A minor when we play that scale right there. And now all we have to do if we want to play in the key of E minor is just change this root note here so that we're playing an E on the high E string. And just to kind of go ahead and give you the answer, the way you would do that is way up here on the 12th fret. So right here on the 12th fret, we're playing an E note, and we could play that same scale pattern now, but we're up here on the 12th fret. So what we'll do is we'll put that scale back on screen, and now we're just going to play everything from the A string down. So in this case, we're going to use our low E for our droning note. So we don't want to play the notes of the scale on that string, we want to leave it open, but we can play the rest of the scale from the A string going up. So we would play the 12th fret on the A string with our index finger, the 14th fret on the A string with our ring finger, and the 15th fret on A with our pinky. And as we keep moving up, we're going to go to the 12th fret of D, index finger, 14th fret of D with our ring finger, 11th fret of G with our index finger, 12th fret of G with our second finger, 14th fret of G with our pinky, 12th fret of the B string with our first finger, 13th fret of B with our second finger, 15th fret of the B string with our pinky, index finger on the high E string 12th fret, 14th fret with our ring finger, and 15th fret with our pinky. So again, we're just playing the notes of that scale on screen. We're playing it on the 12th fret now because we identified that our root note, if we want to play in the key of E minor, is on the 12th fret. And we're just cutting out the notes of the low E because that's what we're going to use for our droning note. So now all these other notes you can use to play around with as you drone that low E. Let's take a look at how that sounds. So when you kind of put all that together, here's what it might sound like. You can pluck that open E, let it ring out, and just start playing some of the notes of that scale. And again, you can keep it simple by just kind of doing some big plucks and letting that ring out. Or if you want to get a little more complex, you can try and keep that thumb constantly moving and kind of give yourself a little more of a rhythm. Well, there you have it, guys. That's how you can pick up your guitar and sound instantly awesome by using a couple simple tricks. Just some simple scales as well as a cool little droning technique can get you sounding really cool and can be really fun to play around with and get creative with. So I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. This time we did a minor key, but we can also do this using a major key. So if you're interested in getting kind of a major sound out of this, then definitely check out the other video I've linked for you in the description that will cover that for you. And if you guys did find this lesson helpful and valuable, please hit the like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. It really helps support the channel. And you can also grab your PDF in the description below this video. It's completely free and it will outline all the information that we covered in this lesson, so you have it in one place for you and you can keep on practicing this stuff. Let me know what you guys thought about this lesson in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much.